Well, hello everybody, it's Spectacular, the Silver Stacular. In this video, I have some controversy going on with some gold. It's right here in my hand. These two little pieces are causing a little bit of a stir. People are saying that it is not what it is supposed to be. We're going to go over some facts and some information about these little tiny golden troublemakers. So everything started when I got a message from one of my followers, and he said, "Good afternoon, Spectacular. Just got my Sigma Metalytics verifier. Very cool. I just started testing gold, and everyone is on the up and up except a 1/10 ounce gold prospector," which are these right here. So these are the 1/10 ounce gold prospector rounds. It is a round, not a coin. And these are giving him a hard time because he just bought the Sigma Metalytics machine to test gold and silver. And these are showing up as basically fake. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, for this, we're going to turn on. We're going to also need the small little baby wand that I got here. So small little baby wand's coming out. I'm going to run, calibrate. I'm going to go ahead and put these down. They claim to be 24 karat 999 fine gold. So the 999 pure gold setting on the Sigma Metalytics should be working on these no problem. But here's what happens. Let me take my glove off because I no longer need that glove. Here's what happens. When I push it to the round, it comes up well on the right-hand side. And no matter how I adjust it on there, it pretty much gives me the same reading. And you can see it's staying on the right-hand side. It's not within these brackets suggesting that it is, what it says it is, which is 999 fine gold. Nowhere I can put it. Sometimes you got to play with these small little rounds, and especially ones that have a lot of relief on them or a lot of little bumps and grooves for poured silver or gold. You really got to find the sweet spot. There appears to be none here. It just suggests it's in the same spot no matter where I put it. Now the other one, although it's the same type of round, shows up a little bit different. It shows the arrow completely off. And again, no matter where I put it, it's going to be way off to the right. Now, I want to show you real quick how the machine looks on bars that have usually no problem with them. Here's an SMI, so Sunshine Minting bar. We're going to put the little tiny baby wand up to it, and it should show within the brackets. And it does right there. So, it shows good on other things, no problem. Here's me testing some 1/10 ounce American Eagles, and they show up in the brackets, no problem. Everything else that I have seems to work pretty good. Sometimes you do got to find the sweet spots on them. Sometimes you got to make sure it's pressed up against it. You got to find the sweet spot. But again, with these ones right here, there was no sweet spots. It was just showing that they were not legit. There it goes. So the machine works well enough that it can even test through plastic most of the time. So here is a graded St. Gaudens double eagle, and I'm going to put it up to it, and it shows right there in the middle through plastic. Here's another one that's in a airtight holder, and boom, it shows up no problem through the plastic. So, and it does have some high relief on it. I mean, it really does have some bumps and grooves on this thing, but it's testing it no problem. So I went ahead and I weighed them, and let's see what the weight comes in at. So they're supposed to be 10th ounce gold pieces, and sure enough, it's coming in at 1/10 of an ounce. Here's the other one, and perfect right there, 1/10 of an ounce of gold. Now I've tried several different little tests, like flipping it to make sure that it has a sound that it makes. I even smelled them, just to make sure it didn't have like a copper smell or anything going on with it. And they smell fine like anything else that's gold. Now I reached out to the owner of Prospectors Gold and Gems, who is named David. David is very upset about the whole ordeal. He wants his name cleared of all this. David actually has a very expensive wand, a XRF wand. It's around 30 grand usually for these things. Very expensive, but it actually can x-ray the metals and tell you exactly what it's made out of. In his videos, you can see him actually pulling the trigger of the wand onto these metals, showing that they are in fact pure gold. So now these rounds are punched out from a flat gold plate. Now when you look at these rounds, which is a very curious thing to me, they are very unusual in how one side tends to be very thick, and then the other side, as you come around, tends to get much thinner. I found that quite interesting. Now, David seems to believe that it is a shape factor that's causing this issue, that when the signal is going through from the Sigma Metalytics, For some reason, the shape of the round is causing an issue. So now while I don't have any unusual shaped gold, I do have some unusually shaped poured silver. So I'm going to bring some of that out right now, and we're going to test this on the 999 pure setting, because all of this that I have claims to be that. Now sometimes this stuff is hard to test because it's odd shaped. So here's actually a Prospector Golden Gems silver bar, and it says 999 fine silver, and you can see how it has a very almost like a V shape to it. It comes down to a point. So Sigma's going to have a hard time, because the only place you can test is if you test here on this side, or right in the middle. You got to get it right on there. So let's see what it says, and you can see how it's having problems there again. But right there in the middle, it seems to be okay. It is a very weird shaped, but it does show in the brackets. We could find a sweet spot on this. In the gold one, we can't seem to find a sweet spot. Here's like a little pyramid or an Aztec temple, whatever you want to call it. Shows good. Now look at this one. It actually has like a dip in it. The rim's all kinds of crazy. This is a hard round to test, right? But it shows right in the middle. Now here's an unusual one. If I take the wand to this right here, the top of it, it's never going to test. And actually we can use the sensor here to that part, and you can see it's suggesting it's fake because it's just not able to get a good connection on it. No matter where I put it, up a little bit right there. But then all of a sudden, if I turn it over to a flat side here and put it down, 999 fine silver. And again, let's see, we got a sheriff star. We can put that on. That's pure. And a couple other rounds here. Let's put that pure silver. Here's one of my old channel bars, and pure silver. As long as it's getting the sensor, as long as it's making a good connection for that sensor to hit it, they're all showing up pure. The only one that seems to have a problem that I've ever had a problem with is that darn Prospector's gold round. All right, so now here I have some information from Sigma Metalytics website, and the title right here says, "Can the right metal or alloy give an answer that looks wrong?" Now they talk about the 3 basic issues that could affect an outcome on the precious metals verifier. One being the coin temperature, another one being the stamping relief, and the alloy is the third one. Although there is some relief on those 1/10 rounds, it's not so crazy. I thought, hey, if we could actually scratch this and acid test it, that would tell us a little bit more. So what I did is I went to a local coin shop and I used their touchstone and I started scratching it and put some acid on there, some 22 karat acid to start with, right? And it actually showed that the 22 karat acid was not burning anything away. So the gold was at least 22 karat, which by the way is about 91% pure gold. And this is claiming to be 999 gold. So then we used a higher degree of acid for platinum, and again, didn't affect it. It seemed to be pure gold, or at least a high level of gold. So I did go to one more shop, and I talked to them about the issue that I'm having with these rounds, and he suggested that maybe the user's XRF machine is actually messed up, and the Sigma is correct. That would be very interesting. And I thought, well, I don't know. That's kind of hard to believe in my eyes. You know what I mean? That's tough for me. We always think that $30,000 machine is the end-all be-all. Now, he wanted to test it on his Sigma machine, and it ended up doing the same things that mine did. And we're going to do it again real quick just to show you. This is on the 999 pure setting. One shows a little bit over to the right, and then one shows an arrow going completely off, which would suggest that there's different purities in these 2 pieces here. Now, so next what he did is he went to a 98.6% pure setting on the Sigma Metalytics, and this is what we got. One is showing way off to the left, suggesting that it's probably over 98.6, and then one is actually almost 98.6. It's getting real close. That's a real curious thing. Now, if you remember, the one on this bottom one was way away from 999 fine gold, and this one right here was much closer to 999 fine gold, which makes me believe that it's actually a purity issue and not a shape issue. Now, I don't believe David's a bad guy. I believe David is trying his best to get his product out there. He wants his product to show up on this machine because everybody has this machine. Not everybody, but a lot of people have this $700 machine. Nobody has that $30,000 machine, but so they're all testing on this. And when they do, it's showing up as fake or not what it says to be. So because I wanted to get some more information, I reached out to a metal refiner and I asked him if this wand is actually as accurate as it seems it's supposed to be. And they said that the wand is actually slightly inaccurate and just enough where it could make a purity test kind of an issue. And the real test would have been to melt down the metal and test it in its liquid or molten form. Now, one thing I want to say is I do put a link to Sigma Metalytics Precious Metals Verifier in my descriptions of my videos, and I do have a coupon code in there. Now, they're not working right now because of the pandemic, but I don't want you to think that because I have that link that I can't say a bad thing about Sigma Metalytics. They and I do not have that kind of agreement. If they put out a product that's garbage, I'll tell you all that it's garbage. But I think that this one time that last shop owner may have been onto something. Maybe his wand is not calibrated the right way. And maybe this right here is picking up problems with the gold purity. Now, I did ask that last shop owner, I said, if you were to buy these, what would you have to do? First of all, because he's in Florida and our laws state that a round or just a bullion product has to be held for 30 days, but then he would have to send it to a refiner and get it refined, and they could actually find out what the purity is of these right here and pay them accordingly. So now let's say the wand is accurate and Sigma Metalytics is just having a problem putting the signal through the round to actually verify what's going on. Then David should really consider taking these rounds and altering them in order to get this thing right here to say that it's pure. Because like I said, everybody has this machine. Nobody has that $30,000 machine. Everybody's going to want to test their metals. And when they see a problem, it's just going to add more stress and more issues to David, his email system, the company itself. It would probably do him well to change the design if that is the problem. So a couple interesting things came up as I was researching this Prospector's Gold and Gems. One I found is that APMEX apparently had a page for their products as if they did carry their products, but no longer does. And I found that to be something curious why APMEX no longer carries their products. Also, when I was in one of my live shows, I was talking about this video that I plan on putting out about problematic gold on the Sigma Metalytics, and I got an email immediately after from one of my followers who wants to be anonymous, and he said that he actually has a problem with 1/10 ounce gold prospectors and nothing else. And he actually even said that when he puts it on the 98.6% setting, it shows up in the brackets for him on one of his pieces and outside on another piece. Very interesting. So now let's say it is an actual purity issue, that it's off by 1 point. You're talking maybe a couple dollars worth of gold. And I know you want exactly what you pay for. And, you know, he's kind of bound by law too. If he's stamping things 999 fine and he's selling it as such, it needs to be that. What I'm trying to say is that tiny percentage is not going to ruin your stack. So I want to be honest. This is kind of inconclusive to me. I tried everything I could try. I don't have 100% accurate information to give back to anybody at this point. I can't totally clear David's name. I can't say the Sigma is or isn't doing its job. Now, I will say at the end of this video here that I went to Prospector's Gold and Gems and I looked at their gold rounds, these ones right here, and they're pretty good priced. So if you did want to get in on some, check out the link in my description for their website so you can get your hands on some. Now, I'm so curious about what you all think on this inconclusive conclusion. Tell me if you think that, it's one way or another, what you think may be going on. If you have some suggestions for more testing that can be done, please let me know. I'm sorry that I couldn't get all those answers, but there's some food for thought here, I think, and we can try to come together as a community and try to figure out what's going on here. But at this point, though, I've got to go. Spectacular. I'm out.